Most accurate forecast. This is a Fox 54 weather impact alert.
And a very good evening. I'm Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. We're going to start off with a little bit of a tour across North Alabama. I wanted to start off over into DeKalb County this evening. Definitely kind of noticing the increase in cloud cover there over DeKalb County, but it doesn't look like they're talking about any rain. Still going to acknowledge the really deep green trees. Those are a really pretty sight, and I'm going to enjoy acknowledging them at least for the next couple of days, at least until we get to where greenery is kind of a commonplace across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. I think it's still relatively new for the season. Off to Huntsville we go. We're looking live on Memorial Parkway. We're looking south on Memorial Parkway. Definitely a noted increase in cloud cover, but you can kind of see there off into the background, we are talking about a little bit of sunshine, and a little bit of sunshine has been peeking through different locations of North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee through the course of the afternoon. It's also definitely been just a touch on the humid end of the spectrum. And I believe we're going to finish off our tour this evening with a look from the top of Green Mountain. Again, you can see a little bit of sunshine, the deep green trees, always a really pretty sight there from the top of Green Mountain. Look at this, temperature right now of 80 degrees, dew points sitting in the upper 50s, so not too terribly bad. If we were overly humid, I think we would be talking about dew points in the mid 60s. So the fact that we're talking about dew points in the upper 50s, yeah, maybe it's just a touch humid. You can feel that moisture in the atmosphere, but it's also not as bad as it could be. Let's talk about the radar this evening. For the most part, we are dry across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee, and we've kind of had a difficult time of seeing showers and thunderstorms come to fruition through the course of the afternoon. And we talked about this last night on Fox 54 News at 9 o'clock, where if we got a little bit of rain and we got a little bit of cloud cover through the middle and later part of the morning, maybe into the early part of the afternoon, then that was really going to begin to dampen the threat for strong and severe thunderstorms across the Tennessee Valley. And that's exactly what we saw through the middle and later part of the morning. We had some scattered showers develop across the Tennessee Valley. We also had a fair amount of cloud cover across the Tennessee Valley, which means while we were able to destabilize a little bit through the course of the afternoon, we really weren't able to reach our full potential, and that really hampered the abilities for showers and thunderstorms to really get fired up across the Tennessee Valley. Now, we have seen a couple of rogue thunderstorms, most notably one that is currently exiting northeast Alabama, beginning to move out of Jackson County and heading into northwest Georgia, impacting a small portion of Tennessee, but that's about it. Now, as that storm was moving through Jackson County, it did come with one quick severe thunderstorm warning. It was only in effect for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then it was actually allowed to expire early. And it did have a history of producing some gusty winds, a little bit of thunder, and a little bit of lightning. But otherwise, we are nice and dry across the Tennessee Valley, watching a little bit of activity back across northeast Mississippi. Just to the south of Tupelo, Mississippi does come with one severe thunderstorm warning. But over the next couple of hours, I think it's going to be somewhat difficult for our atmosphere to support much in the way of any development, because once we get beyond sunset, we're going to lose whatever energy we were able to gain through the course of the afternoon. This activity is associated with a boundary back off to the northwest. Now, that boundary is going to stay firmly planted there for the next couple of days, which means we're going to continue to talk about opportunities for scattered showers and thunderstorms across the Tennessee Valley. As a matter of fact, here's Futurecast. Let's play this out as we head into the Friday morning commute. Starting the day with a mostly cloudy or an overcast sky. Now, some of us are going to get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine, and it does look like we are going to be dry. But then through the later part of the morning, early into the afternoon, isolated showers are going to begin to pop up across the Tennessee Valley. I don't think the coverage is going to be as great tomorrow compared to what we saw today. Now, where the coverage is going to increase is through the middle and later part of the afternoon, early into the evening. We're talking about another opportunity for some stronger thunderstorms. Again, heavy rain, gusty winds, maybe a little bit of small hail. Futurecast tries to make this activity more widespread as we head into the middle and later part of the evening, and then actually holds on to some of the rain as we head into the overnight, early into the Saturday morning. Through the first half of the day, Saturday afternoon. Unfortunately, the front half of the weekend is looking like it's going to come with much more rain than we previously thought. Remember, at the beginning of the week, we were talking about this. I thought the entire weekend was going to be nice and dry, but yeah, things have certainly changed over the last day or so. Now, even as we head into Saturday evening, we're still talking about scattered showers and thunderstorms. The good news here is that there really is no threat for severe weather Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening. So, showers and thunderstorms are going to remain in the forecast Friday and Saturday. With that in mind, Friday is going to be a Fox 54 weather impact alert day. I'll get to that here in just a second. Some of the thunderstorms could bring gusty winds and small hail. Now, the only real opportunity for that is going to be on Friday. Like I was just telling you, that opportunity for stronger thunderstorms really not going to exist as we head into the front half of the weekend. But that activity that's going to move through Friday afternoon and Friday evening does come with the potential for some gusty winds and a little bit of small hail. But the small hail is actually only going to come to fruition if storms can build big enough in altitude, if there is enough energy, if we are unstable enough for storms to continue to grow in altitude. I believe that storm that was moving over Jackson County had one small report of pea-sized hail, and I don't even believe that stuck around very long. Honestly, I think one of the bigger concerns could be the threat for a little bit of flash flooding where the heaviest rain falls. If the storms don't move as fast tomorrow as they were moving today through Jackson County, that storm also moved through southern Madison County, but it was moving at a high rate of speed, which means the rain rates really weren't going to be all that impressive. So definitely a little bit of good news there. Slight risk for severe weather across almost all of North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee as we head into your Friday afternoon. The only exception here is going to be portions of DeKalb and Marshall counties. They're going to be talking about a marginal risk for severe weather. So understand that strong and severe thunderstorms are going to be in the forecast. The timing here looks like it's going to be 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Friday. Again, watching the chance for stronger severe thunderstorms. A couple of things you need. The FOX54 app. Always have the FOX54 app downloaded. You're going to get the latest forecast there from either myself or Weather Impact meteorologist Emily Owen. And you should anything tornadic is going to remain incredibly low. It is essentially zero, which is not really something we talk about a lot this time of year. Very rarely is the threat for a tornado or two minimal to non-existent because we are still in the heart of our severe weather season. We'll talk about that in just a second. So a brief summary for you, a little bit of flash flooding going to be possible as we head into Friday. That should say Friday afternoon and Friday evening, not Thursday. I neglected to change the graphic. And then we could get a little bit of hail and we could get some gusty damaging winds if those stronger thunderstorms establish themselves. Now let's talk about our severe weather season. And we kind of touched on this yesterday. Our severe weather season runs March, April, and May. And you can kind of see that. This is the number of tornadoes in the Tennessee Valley specifically. Between 1950 and 2023, March, April, and May are noted severe weather season. But we do have our secondary severe weather season that comes during the last couple of months of the year, October, November, and then maybe a small portion of December. But for the most part, it ends up being the month of November. The peak of our severe weather season is always in the month of April. And then it carries us through to about the first half of May, and I literally mean the first half of May. Typically, once you get to May 15th or 16th, the overall threat for widespread severe weather is going to begin to drop across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures were a little lower this afternoon compared to what we saw yesterday. Yesterday, we climbed into the mid and upper 80s. Today, we only climbed into the lower 80s. Now, these numbers still above average, but lower today compared to what we saw yesterday, thanks to that morning cloud cover across the Tennessee Valley. If you're going to be heading out for dinner this evening, we're sitting in the lower 70s across northeast Alabama, Jackson, DeKalb, and Marshall counties, where they've seen a little bit of rain over the last couple of hours, and they get a little bit of that rain cool there. Everybody else sitting in the mid and upper 70s. Look at that. Fayetteville up in southern Middle Tennessee. Good evening to those folks. You currently find yourself sitting right around 80 degrees. Relatively warm through the rest of the evening. 73 at 7, 71 by 8, 69 degrees by the time we get to 9 o'clock. If you're not talking about any rain this evening, I do think it would be a nice night to spend a little bit of time outside, maybe throw a little something on the grill, maintaining that small opportunity for rain as we head into the overnight. Otherwise, we are going to be mild once again. Temperatures dropping into the lower 60s. I've got a low temperature right around 61 degrees. For the bus stop tomorrow morning, 66 at 7, 68 by 8, 71 by 9, 74 degrees by the time we get to 10 o'clock in the morning, and I do anticipate that we are going to be dry. Stronger storms going to be possible tomorrow afternoon. We are going to get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine, but remember, the more sunshine we see, the more energy that's going to end up becoming available, the more unstable our atmosphere is, which would then increase the threat for the stronger thunderstorms. That's why we have the FOX54 Weather Impact Alert Day as we head into your Friday. And then 81 degrees tomorrow afternoon, which is, again, a couple of degrees above average. We're going to go really below average as we head into the weekend. Look at this, 73 degrees on Saturday. Rain is going to be likely. Now, Sunday is actually going to be a really nice day. If your pool, by chance, opened, if you have a private pool and it opens this weekend, or a community pool or something like that, they might open this weekend. I know a lot of the more private community-based pools tend to open early May. Sunday, definitely not going to be a good day for that. You're not going to celebrate opening weekend of your pool this weekend. Definitely not on Saturday and certainly not on Sunday. I've only got a high temperature right around 70 degrees, but we do get to enjoy plenty of sunshine. Well below average for early May. The average high temperature today, which is May 1st, of course, 79 degrees. By the time we get to the end of the month, the average high temperature jumps up to 85. Our average low is going to go from 56 to 64. Look at that. By the time we get to the end of the month, sunset, It's going to be at 8:03 p.m. Kind of excited about that one myself. And then on average, we do get a lot of rain in the month of May, right around 5.11 inches. Remember, you can always stay in touch with me on social media. Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. One day I'm going to change the little Twitter bird to a little X icon. And then you can follow me on Instagram if you'd like. I don't post a lot of weather on Instagram. Instagram is much more my personal life, which here as of late, my personal life is typically consumed a lot by my dog. Let's start the question of the day, or continue the question of the day. I put a generic post on my Facebook, and you can go find it if you'd like to contribute to the question of the day. And I asked folks, ask me a question, and it can be weather related or it can be non-weather related. And then I took all of the questions and I plugged them into ChatGPT because I'm not really an expert at writing code for a living that would give me some sort of randomizer software. So I plugged them all into ChatGPT and told ChatGPT to pick a question for me to answer every day. And 2 days in a row, we got weather-related questions. But I can promise you, there are a number of non-weather related questions as well. Today, would you rather tornado chase or fly into the eye of a hurricane if you had the opportunity? Well, in college, I had a brief opportunity to do a little bit of tornado chasing. So I guess I've kind of done that. Never actually seen a tornado in person, but if I had to pick between the two, I have always wanted to fly with the hurricane hunters into an eye of a hurricane. I always thought that would be a really neat experience. I've experienced a hurricane on the ground. I was in Panama City for Hurricane Michael, so kind of done that. That was an experience. That's a different story for a different day. But I suppose if I had the opportunity, I would love to fly with the hurricane hunters. I think that would be a really neat experience. You can text me your question, or you can go find the Facebook post, of course. But texting me is always a really great way to stay in touch, too. Everybody texts. 256-382-2692. And we'll finish off with the 7-day forecast, of course, because you have to finish off the forecast with the next 7 days. 81 degrees on Friday, 73 Saturday, 70 on Sunday. Kind of already talked about those things, right? 73 on Monday. We're staying below average through the entirety of the 7-day forecast. 75 on Tuesday, 77 degrees next Wednesday and Thursday.